Pretty good week in football, terrible week for me in fantasy. Here is a snapshot of what it looks like in the league right now. 2 teams undefeated, 2 teams that can't buy a win. Will that change this week? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But first, let's see what happened last week. First up, we had Chicago Chalupas going up against Hollywood Cole Brothers. And I thought Hollywood Cole Brothers would get the upset win, but I was sorely mistaken as Chicago Chalupas puts up 336 points. Upset pick. Fail. Next, we had Dynasty Sage going up against Redacted ADP 1897, and ADP gets the win as I predicted, but I did not predict Dynasty Sage to have a monster week. 248 points is nothing to slouch at, but when ADP is scoring over 150 points on defense, you're going to be hard pressed to beat them. Next, we have the Boss going up against Agent Smith, and Agent Smith had his worst performance of the year so far, giving the Boss this victory and me another error on my picks. Next, we have Unfuckwittable going up against those Classy Strippers, and both of these guys had dismal performances, but at least Classy Strippers meets the bare minimum, getting the victory as I predicted. Next, we have those West Coast Giants going up against the struggling Stacking Yards, and I picked West Coast in this one. It was a no-brainer. Something tells me the next week matchup will be a little bit more difficult to predict for West Coast Giants. Next, we had Wubba Lubba Dub Dub going up against Griffey Cakes. And again, Wubba Lubba Dub Dub is having an incredibly bad week. I picked Griffey Cakes to win this in a landslide, and I wasn't disappointed. And last but not least in our game of the week, I definitely thought I was going to perform a little bit better than this, but despite Josh Allen going off, my offense looked piss poor. Barely scoring over 100 points. I cannot win this way. As I predicted, Dunder Mifflin gets this dub. Will he be so lucky this week? Speaking of luck, Wubba Lubba Dub Dub seems to have none of that right now. Scoring 179 points last week, he gets the honor of remaining the fantasy dud of the week. Got a little streak going. A little boo-boo streak, that is. As for our fantasy stud, coming into the week with 336 points, might as well say 337 points, we've got Chicago Chalupas making his debut on the fantasy stud chart lines. Good on you, kid. I'd say the newcomer in the league has his feet wet and is starting to roll around in the mud. How does this impact the power rankings? I'm glad you asked. Dynasty Sage, Wubba Lubba Dub Dub, Stacking Yards, and Unfuckwittable remains unchanged from 14 to 11. Classy Strippers is now at 10. Hollywood Cole Brothers at 9. The Boss at 8. Introducing the potential playoff 7, we've got Griffey Cakes at 7. Disabled Vigilantes at 6. Dunder Mifflin at 5. We've got Redacted ADP 1897 at 4. Chicago Chalupas sitting at 3. And we got a flip-flop of 1 and 2. Agent Smith is now number 2, while West Coast Giants has seized control of the number 1 spot in the power rankings. Let's get into the weeds of how I think the next week will play out and how it has influenced my power rankings. First up, we have Disabled Vigilantes going head-to-head with the Boss. And I'm hoping the Boss's defense goes to sleep this week, but probably not. Even still, I have a feeling that my team will perform admirably this week. Hopefully a bounce-back performance from my offense. I'm giving Disabled Vigilantes the win. I'm not the favorite by any metric, but Disabled Vigilantes gets this dub this week. Next, we got Chicago Chalupas going head-to-head with Dynasty Sage. And while Dynasty Sage came on strong last week, it won't be enough to topple our current fantasy stud. Chicago Chalupas should get this victory, will get this victory. Next, we have Dunder Mifflin going head-to-head with Agent Smith. And I'm going to give this victory to our number 2 seed in the power rankings. Agent Smith gets this victory. Next, we have Griffey Cakes going up against unfuckwittable. And if you've noticed in the trade chatter, unfuckwittable, his whole team is up for auction basically. But his draft capital is immense. That's not going to help him this week. Griffey Cakes gets this dub. Next we have those Hollywood Cole brothers going head to head against Stacking Yards. And the only other team that's more injured than Stacking Yards is probably Wubba Lubba Dub Dub's team. So this was an easy vote for me. Hollywood Cole brothers gets this dub. Speaking of Wubba Lubba Dub Dub, he's going head to head with our current reigning champion, Classy Strippers. And there's no better chance for an upset victory than right here. Wubba Lubba Dub Dub, I think you're going to win this week. You're going to put a tally mark in the win column, my boy. And Classy Strippers will fall just short. Should be a close game. Last but not least, we have our game of the week. West Coast Giants going head to head with Redacted. ADP 1897. 2 undefeated teams going in, and more than likely 1 undefeated team coming out. Who do I have taking this epic battle? I'm going with those West Coast Giants. Both teams have done a remarkable job of reconstructing their teams to be absolute playoff contenders. But with Christian McCaffrey, I believe West Coast Giants has too much firepower on this offense. But without a shadow of a doubt, it should be a good one. Those are my picks. Like it or love it. I hope everybody has a wonderful week in their fantasy football endeavors. With the exception of the boss, I need you to take a week off, bro. I need this win. More importantly, I need my boys to step the up. That's all I got for you this week. Be easy. Peace.